Welcome to the Green Beret Life. This is the SCIF. I'm Matt. That's Chris. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. We had some technical problems on my end, so I'm down here in South Florida. Chris is in a bunker somewhere up in the southeast at some stage. So, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a few things we're going to talk about tonight. Some things that came up here real recently on the gun side, on the Israel side, these recent elections that we're going to talk about. We are on YouTube to start. We are going to be transitioning off of YouTube. If you are out there on YouTube and you're watching us, please go sign up over at Rumble or Odysee, whatever one you want to. YouTube is, we all know what YouTube is. YouTube is Google. Google is anti-American. Google is anti-Constitution. Google is anti-free speech. And Google just generally sucks, pretty much. I'd put them somewhere at the level of suck down there pretty far, right? Streamlabs sucks too, but Google sucks in a different way than Streamlabs. So
it's next level suck.
It's a next level suck for sure. Next level suck fest. So, I'm down here in Florida and had a really excellent adventure. I don't even know if I want to even get into all of this, but hit a deer on the way down. Actually, the deer hit me. I did everything I could to miss this damn thing, and never hit a deer before. Chris, have you ever hit a deer in a car?
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah, he ran right into the side of my truck, went all the way down my truck, hit my boat, collapsed the fender on my trailer. And that was just the start of the night's festivities, about 2 a.m. in Southern Illinois. But anyways, I digress. On YouTube, we're only going to be here in a short period of time. If you're going to watch us, please go watch us over at Rumble. Chris, what do you want to start with? You want to start with, you want to talk about this brace thing real quick?
Yeah.
We had a bit of good news today. People that have been following this, the ATF believes they can make law. They can't make law. The ATF has been pushing forward with this brace rule. So they're trying to say you can't have a pistol brace. And if the gun is if the barrel is shorter than 16 inches, that even if you have a pistol brace on it, it is considered a short barrel rifle. Therefore, you must register that with the NFA. And if you're going to register with the NFA, it's now a short barrel rifle, and no longer needs you have to pay a $200 tax stamp, but it no longer has you no longer need a pistol brace on it. Well, this has been challenged over and over and over again, and there's been multiple lawsuits and challenges. Well, a lower court found that the brace ban wasn't constitutional, and it was pushed to a appellate court. In this appellate court, well, Chris, are you still there? My screen just went blank.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you still see me? Something. HP was trying to sell me something. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Yeah, I got you.
But it got pushed to an appellate court, and the appellate court upheld the lower court. Now, this is very, very good, because if the Supreme Court chooses not to take this, because they're going to continue to fight, if the Supreme Court chooses not to take this, the appellate court ruling stands, and braces are legal and pistols are legal, as far as an AR pistol. So if the Supreme Court does take it up, I would have to say the odds are in our favor that it's going to remain legal, but you just never know with, Justice Roberts. You have three off the bat, that Ketanji John Brown, whatever her name is, Johnson Brown, that Sotomayor, and that Kagan are all going to vote straight leftist every time. Okay. What we have are a few wild cards in there. We know we have two solid Supreme Court justices, and that's Thomas and Alito, right? But I'd say Gorsuch is somewhat solid, but Roberts, I don't know what happened to him a few years ago. He changed. So, with Roberts and with uh, Kavanaugh, you just don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I would have to say the odds are in our favor, and I have a sneaky suspicion the Supreme Court's not even going to take this up. What do you think on this, Chris?
Yeah, I don't. I don't think the Supreme Court is going to take it up. I mean, why would they? Why would they want to deal with something that's obviously been ruled unconstitutional?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to get that far, but like the guy was saying, right? To appeal, even if there was, I don't know all this lawyer jargon stuff. Like if
Mm-hmm.
they were to appeal it, it'd have to be at the Fifth District Court or something, right?
Yeah,
And they're the ones that ruled it unconstitutional anyways. So they'd basically be pissing up a rope.
yeah. So this is good news. We got to take the victories where we got them, and it's good news because this was an overreach. But like many people have said, it needs to go through this process because the whole NFA is a complete joke. And while we're at it, the ATF is a complete joke. You've heard Chris and I talk about this many, many times, that these agencies have overstepped. Uh, they've overstepped what they were originally made to do, and they have gone past the point where they're now infringing on our rights. And it's just multiple of these federal agencies. They've been so politicized. And I know the FBI this week announced they're building a whole new facility. They got like $560 million to build a whole new facility, and they're going to build it in Maryland, apparently. They need to have the plug pulled on them because that agency, Chris, is too corrupt to fix. What say you on that?
Which one?
The FBI.
Oh yeah. You know what? I keep saying this every time we talk about the FBI. Here's my thoughts on it. One, do what you got to do. But at the same time, you have
Mm-hmm.
to, every time they've put somebody in front of the camera, this person has said nothing. Like at these mass shootings, for example, they bring
Mm-hmm.
somebody in front of the camera and this person says nothing. Oh yeah, we're here to help. Okay, what help are you doing? How about give us support, right? And
They're
then
here to help you out of your constitutional rights, Chris.
right,
That's what they're there for.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Give it. What about and then Garland comes on. We have no way of telling. Excuse me. We have no way of telling if there's terrorists inside the United States.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, maybe you should put the FBI to work on
Mhm.
these things because I'm here to tell you these people are here, bro. I hate
Yeah.
to break the news to you,
Mhm.
you
Well,
but
yeah, for sure. I mean, the there's just you know this brings up another subject we're going to talk about is the Republican debate last night. Trump was having his rally, which was far more interesting and far more attended, although it was pretty much shut out of TV. I don't know if there was maybe Newsmax or OAN were showing it, and Right Side Broadcasting, obviously, on the internet. But uh, more people are interested in that than they are the Republican debate. The Republican debate was a joke. NBC put it on, Chris. The only individual on there that said anything of any value was Vivek, who attacked Nikki Haley, calling her a Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels. That's what he called her. She sits on the board of Boeing. Did you know this?
no, that's interesting.
Yeah. Um, but if you listen to Fox News today, they're singing the praises of Nikki Haley. Vivek attacked the press, refused to attack Trump. They were setting up all of these questions to go after Trump, and of course Christie and Um, and DeSantis were attacking Trump with this. And Rick Scott sort of stayed away from attacking Trump. Believe it or not, this time Nikki Haley sort of stayed away from it. But it was a complete joke. None of these people have any chance. And the only one I would like to see in Trump's administration would be Vivek. I know there's some questions about him, but he seems legit. And I think he really wants the head of the OMB, because I think he talked about getting rid of 75% of all of these federal agencies last night, which was interesting. He's out there saying it. So I like him, and I know he has some questionable things in his past, but boy, his behavior since he's been in this election cycle is pretty good. He's saying the right things.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that's not the first time that he has said this. I've seen it a couple times when
Mm-hmm.
he's done some interviews that he's let's just say he's on par for kind of where my thinking is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still watching it and seeing what shakes out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
So
there's some
far, so
there's some
good.
questionable things with him in the past. His he won an award from the Soroses, but this all could be because he's a minority and was a student at Harvard. He was able to raise a lot of money while he was going through grad school, I think, or law school at Harvard, uh, to start these companies, which is kind of questionable. And those things are odd. But what he's been saying on this campaign trail is pretty on point. It's pretty on point with what's going on. And boy, oh boy, you just listen to Nikki Haley talk about the money we need to spend, over in Ukraine. They're still pushing Ukraine. And Chris Christie and Nikki Haley were pushing Ukraine so hard, like saying that, yeah, if somehow us dumping all of this money into Ukraine for this bullshit war that you and I have been talking about from the very beginning, somehow that's going to deter China from attacking Taiwan. I mean, does anybody believe this line of horse shit? I mean, what's your take on this, Chris? Your microphone is on mute.
Josie, it says they called me a couple times trying to get me to donate. I told Scott's campaign that he was too much a rhino. All right. Okay, Matt, you froze up there, and I don't know whether you can hear me right now. He could be having some technical difficulty right there. So let's
Chris, you there?
see. There
Chris,
you are. Yes.
what did Josie say? Because I missed all of that.
Josie said they called me a couple times trying to get me to donate. I told Scott's campaign that he was too much of a rhino. No.
Oh yeah.
Okay, did you hear that?
You broke up there. But he said Rick Scott's campaign was calling him.
Yeah, and Josie said he was too much of a rhino. Okay, there you are.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I apologize for this. It just seems like, there's a ghost in our machine and it follows
Yeah.
us around. Whether I'm here in the Southern Command or if I'm up there in the Great White North. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something following us around. But yeah, the RNC has no money because the RNC, this is going to get us into the elections, right? Where everybody's singing gloom and doom about these elections in Kentucky and in Virginia. And here's what's going on there, okay? The guy we ran to go against Bashir in Kentucky was one of Mitch McConnell's aides, okay? This is the GOP trying to grasp on to control. And MAGA did not come out. America First did not come out. They're not going to come out and get excited over one of Mitch McConnell's aides being put up to run against Bashir. Ain't going to happen. And this guy out in Virginia, Youngkin, Glenn Youngkin, Trump supported him when he first ran for governor. And then he's just distanced himself from Trump right after that. In this whole election cycle, they were trying to hold on to the House and flip the Senate in Virginia. They lost both. They lost the House and they lost the Senate. Guess who they didn't bring in to try to rally the troops? The only person that the Republican Party, the grassroots of the Republican Party is interested in, and that's Donald Trump. So they got this guy, Glenn Youngkin, who now the establishment is looking at as a replacement for Ron DeSantis. And they thought he had the power to push the Republican Party over the line and get the House and hold the House and then flip the Senate. And he lost both. It shows exactly who he is. That's an end for his presidential campaign, because they were going to dump all sorts of money into Youngkin to try to challenge Trump, which would have been a massive failure. So, Chris, it's like the Republican Party doesn't learn. You've got Ronna McDaniel, who nobody wanted. 6% of the grassroots Republican base, like you, me, wanted Ronna McDaniel. We wanted either Mike Lindell or Harmeet Dillon. But guess what? The establishment picks who the head of the GOP is going to be, and they put Ronna McDaniel. She loses everything. She loses everything. She's there to try to make sure that Trump is not the nominee. That's why she's there. And that's why you're seeing all of these candidates up there, with the exception of Vivek, in my personal opinion. They're up there to try to disrupt Trump. There's somebody's paying these people at single digits to stay in this race, to go through debate after debate after debate. Okay? Down here in Florida, we're having an insurance meltdown because Ron DeSantis basically allowed the insurance companies to start writing in stuff into the legislature, right? For donations. This is allegedly what he was doing. So the insurance companies basically indemnified themselves from any retribution for the shit that they're going to pull down here in Florida. So you're having an insurance situation down here blow up. Homeowners insurance, car insurance, everything else. You got a guy who spent tons of money that people donated to him to be governor of Florida. And had he just continued what he was doing, to be the next president after Trump. But no, I don't know who convinced him. His wife. I don't know if it's the establishment was just throwing money at him. The donors were throwing money at him because they thought he had a chance of taking down Trump. He's ruined himself. He looks so stiff and awkward up there. Believe me, I watched this just for the reason of, I watched also Trump's rally at the same time on my phone and watched the debate just to see what this clown show was going to be, Chris. And it didn't disappoint. Nobody up there has any juice. And the only reason they're there is to try to disrupt Trump. And I believe hurt him in the general election against whoever the Democrats are going to run. What do you have to say about that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I watched that the last debate, and I have to agree with that. There's no continuity. There's no juice. There's no. I don't know where they get these people, but here's the thing: time after time after time, we hear the same thing throughout media network. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
hey, the Republicans are doing it wrong. The Republicans don't have a backbone. The Republicans are doing it wrong. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Okay. Now, once you hear that, you're going, okay, well, yeah, that's probably true. And it is true. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, why is it that the Republicans can't use the system also? Okay. Because of the reason they haven't used it properly is because they don't want to use it properly.
No, they don't want Trump.
Okay.
The Republicans think that they run this party. They don't run the party. The party's Donald Trump's party. And until they understand that, they're not going to be a party. And they're losers. They're all losers. Nobody wants new Mitch McConnells. Nobody wants new John Thunes. Nobody wants John Cornyn's. Nobody wants any of these turds. Nobody wants a Nikki Haley or a Rick Scott. Nobody wants that. We've been there over and over and over again. They've let us down. They've allowed the donors, they've allowed the lobbyists to run the show, and they've bypassed what we, the people who were voting for these candidates, wanted. And in fact, in 2022, we donated to have candidates run, and they took money away from those candidates and put them into their own rhino candidates, like Lisa Murkowski up in Alaska, who they worked to get this ranked choice voting up there in order to keep Murkowski in power. And she was in a runoff against a much better Republican. But they were pushing all this money that we were donating to our candidates that we wanted. They were MAGA candidates, right? And taking that money and putting it into Murkowski. This is what McConnell was doing and the GOP was doing. And we don't want these people. We've got to be disciplined in this upcoming year, and these bastards need to be primaried. We keep saying this like a freaking broken record. You've got to primary their ass. What's the comment, Chris?
Josie says, yep, you're so right, Matt, about the race. If it starts to look like a sitcom or reality show, you know they're all fake globalist puppets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of these things that there is no interest for the United States over in Ukraine. Okay? Now, what's going on in the Middle East? We're getting involved with this. Right? Israel has the capability to stomp Iran's ass, Hezbollah's ass, and Hamas's ass. And it goes in that order. Here's the money bags behind it, from Iran to Hezbollah, right to the cannon fodder, which is Hamas. So right now, the Biden administration, Chris, is trying to get the Israelis to do a 3-day pause or 3 to 5 day pause. Why would they would give up all of the ground that they've taken in Gaza? I don't want us, the United States, involved in this shit. Let the Israelis do it. They have every right to defend themselves. If they are getting attacked via Iran through proxies, right? Let the Iranians deal with this. The Biden, I'm convinced, the deep state that's running this administration, in my opinion, right? In fact, this might be a good time to get off of YouTube right now, right? What's the comment, real quick?
Let's get off of YouTube and then I'll
And
reread
then
that.
we'll talk about the comment. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get off of YouTube. If you're on YouTube watching us, thank you for joining us here. Please come and join us over at Rumble and Odysee. We'll see you over there in a few minutes, a few seconds.